Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Air conditioner's on because he's hot. Uh. So. I just want to say that I also liked this movie, but not as much as the last one. Because as much of there was some unnecessary stuff in the last one, I at least praised the action scenes and the acting. Well, you got the acting in this one. Not much for action scenes. This was... Honestly, I dozed off a couple times watching this. It's long. And about... let's see. The runtime of this movie is... an hour and 36 minutes. That's 2 hours and 16 minutes long. Now, that's just over 2 hours. But I don't know. Something about it just didn't sit very well with me. Watching them both back to back, I did think they worked together well. It's a back-to-back feature. However, the thing that frustrated me the most is that if you took out all the unnecessary flashback shit that wasn't needed, honestly, and just did a straightforward movie of her getting revenge, you could have put it in one film. You really could have. Because... and I just don't understand it either. If you are going to do a movie that cuts off at one point, you want to start it at the next point. Honestly, obviously you want to start it off with the next person she's trying to get rid of. But instead, we start with a flashback to the wedding in black and white, because of course, black and white's fine. We start with a flashback to the wedding and the conversation that they have. Why? Why are we doing that? Why? And what's more is that there's this whole thing where Bill goes to warn Bud, his brother, played by Michael Madsen, that death is coming for him. So she shows up and immediately gets blown away by rock salt and thrown in a grave, where then we get more back. While this is happening, we get more exposition stuff. Plus, then Daryl Hannah shows up. There's this whole thing where he says that she's going to die. So first of all, as soon as he knocks her out with rock salt, he calls Daryl Hannah. And she says to make sure she suffers. So his plan is to put her in a grave. Bury her alive. I'm not sure that's really suffering. You suffocate. But like, maybe if you tortured her before he killed her, that would be suffering. But just, I don't think that's what she meant. And then he basically bribes her with the sword. Hey, I got this Hanzo sword. Right? And, my Michael Madsen version. And, sell it to $4 million. Basically what it is. Yeah, so we get flashback to the wedding. Then we get her trying to kill Michael Madsen. But then she's buried alive. While she's buried alive, we get another flashback of how she was taught this special move, the exploding heart technique. Yes, we need that in the movie. Or, you know, when you're describing her, say she is the only person left alive to know that maneuver. I guess maybe Bill knew it, but still, I don't know. It's just it's the whole thing. And then probably one of the most disappointing things here is that Michael Madsen is not killed by the bride. The whole point is that she's getting revenge on those who ruined her wedding, right? So why is she not the one that kills him? He's killed by a fucking snake, right? Because he gets $1 million, starts taking it out. There's a snake in there, bites him in the face, and so he ends up dead from that. And I mean, it should have been recording me. Because when that snake pops out, I'm like, oh. And then when she starts talking about how poison it is, I'm sitting there going, really? That's how he's going to die? Because eventually, the bride does crawl her way out of the thing. And then she has a fight with Daryl Hannah, which she wins. Right? It's not that big of a fight. But, you know. She takes out her other eye and stuff like that. So now she's got no eyes. Then when she finally gets to Bill, that's when she finally realizes that her daughter is still alive. But they don't even do this right. Because she walks in, she has a gun in her hand, she walks in, and they're like, oh, Mommy got us, and they both pretend to be dead, but I'm sorry, but I didn't write this right. This is a kid who has never met her mom in her entire 4 years of living. This kid should not know who this is. I get they wanted a fun little scene of, oh, mommy got me, but like, I don't get it. Did he bring her to see her in the hospital? How does she know? Where are those flashbacks? Right? Not that this movie needed to be longer. I'm just saying. Why? I don't get what. I don't get it. I was so very confused. I'm like, no, this child should not know who she is. I get maybe Bill had pictures, but still. And then there's a whole thing, like, again, there's a lot of talking in this movie. Less fight scenes, more talking, which is probably why I fell asleep, dozed off. Not fell asleep, but dozed off a few times. It's one of those things where you're kind of there, and you kind of doze off, and you can hear everything around you, but you're not fully awake. That. I definitely think this is not as good as the first one. It's longer, there's more talking and less fight scenes. You'd think in a movie that's longer, you'd have more fight scenes. But it's not. This is the dialogue heavy one. This feels like I don't know. I remember I was talking about in my first review of two-part movies, how the first one is all the dialogue and exposition and everything, and the second one is the fight, boom, 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 boom. This feels like, I don't know, they forgot to do the boom, 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 boom in this part. They did it all at the end of the last one, and now it's just, like, everything you think is building up to something, there's nothing. There's nothing. It doesn't feel balanced. When the biggest fight scene, if these are put together, the biggest fight scene is in the middle of the film. Then, like, what should be a big climax point is in the middle of the movie. If you put this as one. And then, like, it's just bullshit and flashbacks and talking the rest of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it just, I guess, just didn't sit well with me. It's still in the middle of the road because it's still directed pretty good. The acting is good. It just, it just, it just doesn't work for me. Like, the action in the first one was so good, and you get to this one, and there's barely any action. Even that when they bring back the, it's when she gets out of the grave, and it just happens. Like, because they did it in the last one. Is that why? I guess. I don't know. No, you got Michael Parks in a dual role. Like, in the first one, he was that sheriff guy from Dusk Till Dawn. That, by the way, died in that movie, so that means that Kill Bill takes place before it. Although I guess he's back in the Grindhouse movies too. But those take place before too, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, she kills Bill with that. She kills Bill with that heart thingy, and then takes off with her daughter. BB is her name, which makes me think of Deadly Friend. BB, BB, BB. You know. But yeah, that's how it ends. And you got a whole. And to prove this is supposed to be all one big movie, they have a big credits thing at the end to some Spanish song. Everyone who was in both movies. Yeah. And like I said, it's the middle of the road. But if I was ranking these separately, this would be lower than one. Together, well, together they're just the middle of the road. Together, I guess. Well, if this was one big movie all together, it would be not worth your time. So I guess I'd have to rate it on that. Just because there's a big if it's all one movie, right? This is all one big movie. It's overly long, first of all. And then the big climax fight happens in the middle. And then the rest, there's some action stuff, but it's mostly talking. And flashbacks and everything, and I don't know why I'm doing that, but yeah, I don't know. But as separate entities, I would recommend the first one, and I guess if that's the case, you'd have to watch the second one to kind of get the full story. But I don't know. Like I said, it's not badly made. It's done. It all looks incredibly well done, incredibly good. It just, I don't know, writing is just not there. It just, I don't know. So what are your thoughts on Kill Bill Volume 2? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Where did I put the thingy? It like disappears when I set it there on the Jackie Brown Blu-ray. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. I didn't do that thingy.